Alright, so we got a little bit of an update. I haven't done much to it. Actually, I haven't done anything to it. The only thing I've done is I've knocked down what was on top. Just knocked it down, sanded it down as best as I can. You can still see all this streaking is actually because I used, in order to try and get, grease and grime remover, I used, the heck was it? Denatured alcohol. Apparently that's not a good thing. We learned. Knocked this down. I actually found some of the spots going through. So as I'm just doing some basic cleanup to it, this is what I'm trying to figure out. How do I want to approach this? So let's start onto the engine bay. We know what we were kind of in for. The good news, the great news, as a matter of fact, what I do with it. Oh, hold on. I threw a little bit of mystery oil down the cylinders. Come on. Come on. Oh, nope. There we go. And it's turning over nicely. I haven't scoped the cylinders or anything like that to see what I was looking at, but it turns over well. Pop the cap off. It's nice and clean in there. It got a little bit of corrosion. It looks like it's going on. New set of points will be going in anyway. I might just see if it fires up without, just clean up the cap a little bit. See where we go from there. I think before I do the startup, I'm going to pull the valve cover. Just take a look at the rockers and the seals up there. As I was told that the valve, there's little umbrellas, little rubber umbrellas that sit around the valve itself, and if they get too old and brittle, they could break, fall down into the engine, all the way down into the oil pan, and it'll grind up or end up stuck in your oil pump and destroy that oil pump, and all of a sudden you have no oil pressure. So I think it warrants a little peek through. There's a battery in it, and yeah, there's no way this is going to be good. So we're going to need a battery. There was no oil in it, so I don't know if I said it before, but I took the transmission off and I did a rear main oil seal to it. I don't know, probably 2005. Somewhere in there. So I must have drained the oil at that point in time too. Never put the oil back in. So I added a couple quarts of just some. Pep Boys was going out of business. This one store up here, so I got some of their cheap oil. It's enough to do a startup. I got some fresh oil in there, so it takes care of that. We move around. Oh, yeah, here we go. Ugh. If we look at the starter, look how nice and clean that is in there. How new it is. It's because it is new. I rebuilt the starter. Well, I didn't rebuild it. I paid to rebuild it. Paid somebody to do it. Paid the starter shop up in Jersey. What was the name? Advanced Generator. Yeah, that's who it was. Great guys. I like them. But anyway, yeah, they rebuilt this for me. A couple bucks. But then I put it in the trunk. Same with the generator. I know it was rebuilt because they still have a tag on it. Mustang guy and my old phone number. Now here's the issue. It was sitting this side down in the trunk, had some moisture, and this post used to look like that. Now it's all just goobered up. It spins well. So I don't know, I'm gonna work this a little bit, see if I can get that nut to come off, save those threads, and we'll go from there. So that's the only two accessories on here. Put a tester on the radiator, and yeah, she does not hold. She's got a leak. She's also bone dry. There was a little bit of fluid when I initially parked it. That leaked out and it's all gone. Still having issues with the clutch linkage and the clutch not releasing all the way. Having troubles getting the shifter to find the right gear. Let's take a look at those bushings. We're coming around here to the trunk. Did a little cleanup in here. And I'm looking, there's only, here's a flathead screw, missing, screw, missing. Okay, so this has been out. I knew it was out before because I saw some of the pictures of the work that was done. But then as I'm looking, There's some patchwork down in here. This entire section. This is patched in, kind of goobery kind of welds going on in here. Let's go over here. Same thing, you know, goobery welds. About as good as I can weld, probably. Same up in here. So rivets and welds, and I got a whole bunch of, I think these might be, yeah, rivets and welds through here. So that's helped me make up my mind what I'm going to do, how I'm going to approach this. Before we look underneath, I'll show you the interior again. So it all cleaned up. This is the driver's area. We got hole, but then we also have a patch right there too. So it's got some patchwork in here. The seat boxes are in okay shape. Comes along the rail there, another hole, going up, hole. A lot of this was coming up through the vent right here. So as we go up into the dash, the cowl up in there, that's where a lot of it's coming from. That's where the moisture was coming in, at least on this side. The tunnel's in good shape, all the way across. The firewall looks pretty well, or okay. We go into the back seat. We have a little boogery right there. I didn't see that before. Back seat, right there, the corner of the floor going up into the seat area. The plug is actually okay on this side. We'll start in the back seat over here. Oh, sorry. So just in the corner, right there at the torque box. That's the torque box. It's right below that. Keep that in mind. And then the front section right here, this is where it's worse. But then if we go up here to the front, that's all patch. You can see the rivets, you can see the welds. Just, it's flat patch is all it is. So it wasn't like they were trying to replace or mold a pan. All right, so let's go underneath. So this is front passenger. I don't know how well we're gonna be able to see here. Okay, that looks all right. So as you look at this, there's a couple things to take in mind. This is that seat support. The seat support goes all the way to here. And then this section, right up in here, is the front passenger, or the front frame rail. But then this is all patched on here already. This was patched once before, and it died right here at the welds. And this right here, it just died at the weld. You see a couple bolts going through right here, where they took this big piece of patch metal and they bolted through, which is a good way to do it, by the way. Don't just depend upon the weld. Bolt it through. The bolts go all the way through, nice and tight. That's perfectly fine. At least in my book it is. But yeah, this is just tetanus waiting to happen, by the way. So all this needs to come off. And you look over at the other side, or I did, and underneath, you know, it kind of goes through. You got a couple soft spots, and then you can see it right there by the line over there, right about in there, where it just pokes through. So there's a couple options. One is the entire frame section right here, from this point all the way to the front. I think it's under 200 bucks over at CJ Parts, CJ Pony Parts. A lot of work to take it out. Definitely worth it though, right? Now let's look at the backs. Oh, sorry. I'm having a hard time really understanding the torque boxes. So here we got our shackle, and right here on the frame, right where here's the bolt, is pretty much right above this plug, but then right below it is all this little frame right here. That's just goobered up, shot, and goes right through. And you can even poke a little bit through on the inside area. So this is bad right here, and this would need to be patched or replaced. And this, I think, is part of that torque box hole setup right in here. And it goes over there. You can look at it on that side too. I'm having trouble with the light. I'm not a good photographer. Whatever. Okay, now here's back in the passenger side. Obviously, we can't leave it like this. This doesn't have a lot of torque, but it's definitely got enough to twist that up and make it worse. Based upon the amount of patches that's already going through this car, I think that's going to be my approach right now. In order to really address these, because I can buy that frame rail. And it starts right about there, and it goes all the way back, all the way to the back bumper. You can buy that. 200 bucks, I think. Not even 200 bucks, or right over. I priced it all out. In order for me to do everything, I didn't include the battery on it, but everything I need to get from CJ Pony Parts, like 1,700 bucks. It's very reasonable. It's DIY, but it's reasonable. But this is also where I'm going to be working on the car. Not on a lift. Not in a bay. Not even in the garage. I got no room in the garage. So it's going to be in the driveway. So, at least at this point in time, for now, my approach is going to be just doing some patches. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get that engine to run. It was running way back in the day, but you know, it's going to run. It's going to be fine. Oh, there's the other spot. I showed you the rocker panel before. Yeah, the rocker's like 70 bucks. I picked up some sheet metal the other day, but I don't know, for whatever reason it stopped recording. I hit a button apparently. Anyway, I was just talking about the plan of attack is going to be, I am going to possibly order the fuel tank right away. I know I can get the engine started by bottle feeding the carburetor, and we'll go from there. As far as the other stuff, working on all the metal work that needs to be done to this, I decided to do, I'm just going to do some patches. I might buy the CJ Pony Parts stuff, like some of the floor pan stuff or the rocker panel, just because, you know, it looks nicer. But I'm not looking to, I don't say do it right, because not, by doing patches is not necessarily doing it wrong. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I'm working without a lift. I'm working without a shop. I'm working in a driveway, not even in my garage. So, oh, you know, by the way, here's the plugs. This is what the engine was like on the inside. And I think it's okay. You know, that's a little fuzzy. Yeah, a little green on that one, but you know, none of them, you know, this could, as a matter of fact, they weren't even in tight. They were just set in there and maybe a quarter turn. I didn't even have to really undo them. Because this is how I left it. I unplugged, or I don't know why. Maybe I was starting to get ready to fire it up 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I forget. So I got a little Mr. Oil in there right now. Go ahead and plug the hole so nothing crawls in it while I'm gone. I don't know. I think she's gonna be just fine. But yeah, I got a couple things to hammer out first, such as my compressor just died. I tried using it for more than 5 minutes at a whack, and it doesn't like that. So it's only a little compressor, but it's dead. And my welder, damn it, my welder's suitable for 20 gauge, not definitely not 16, not even probably 18, definitely not 14. So I got some things to work out before we actually start looking at doing those frames in proper way, which is a lot of disassembly. Besides, I want to get this thing on the road. All right, I'll bring it back when the actual work starts happening.